Boys, what's going on? It's your boy, Sonny Macaroni MMA, back another video here. And today we're going to be making building a card for UFC 331. You know, I just want to get this video out just before, because I've been seeing a lot of rumors about a lot of fights being made that could be made and put on this card. And there are a couple fights on here, like about 3 or 4 fights that have already been confirmed and put on this card. Like they're already there, confirmed, official. And the guys have already started their camp for those fights as well. So I just want to get this video out. And disclaimer, I know a lot of people have been putting like, Mobstar Evolov versus Volk for the featherweight belt on here, but I'm not gonna do that just because I've been seeing like I feel like that fight is gonna happen, at 332 or 333. Because there's gonna be a lot of time for that fight, so we're probably gonna, I just want to let people know before this, just so because I'm not gonna put that on here. But anyways, we can get into this card. I feel like I built a pretty nice card here, a pretty solid card, pretty not solid, I'll say a pretty good card, because this is going to be a pretty hyped event. And I'll let everybody know like the fights already been confirmed here, but and I'll give my opinion on every fight and why I chose these matchups and why I put some of these fighters on here, just because it's always good to have a backstory on why. But this is a card building video. I'm excited to go over this, and let's get into it with the first matchup on the early prelims, being Charles Radke versus Adam Fugit. Now, Charles Radke last fought at UFC 327 against Francisco Prado. He had a very dominant win over Prado. I mean, he just really just uses wrestling in that fight. And that's the thing. I chose the two guys because one could because they're both wrestlers, and two, like they fight like similar, like but like they're both wrestlers though. That's what I chose. They both have wrestling base to them. But anyways, with the Charles Radke fight against Francisco Prado, I really chose Radke just because you know didn't take too much damage in that fight, really. I mean, the fight went all 3 rounds. He won by decision. But he kind of just dominated Prado in that fight, really on the ground. I think Adam Fugit would be a pretty good matchup for Reki just because one other wrestling base. And plus, Fugit has not fought since 324, since that's like in January. So he hasn't fought for a while. He did get KO'd by Ty Miller, who's an upcoming prospect in the welterweight division. But Fugit, I feel like this fight for Fugit is definitely winnable. Like obviously he's on a 2-fight losing streak, but he did fight two guys like in Islam Dulatov and Ted Miller are two tough guys, upcoming guys in the welterweight division and in the UFC. Trying to catch their footing in the promotion. But I do think Fugit has a very good chance of beating Charles Radke. Both these guys are like I said, they're both kind of similar. And Radke didn't take no damage in this fight. Fugit hasn't fought in a good amount of time. I feel like he could, come back in this fight and verse Charles Radke. I would have Charles Radke winning this fight. I do think Radke is a better wrestler than Fugit, but at the same time, Radke could knock out Fugit on the feet, but Radke does not. Radke to me, he doesn't really have that much, like KO wins in the UFC. He has KO wins in his career, but doesn't that many finishes in the UFC in terms of KOs. And he just has pretty good grappling. My guy Chuck Buffalo here. But I do think I would take Charles Radke in this fight. This is not a bad opener because Radke did open at 327. He was the first fight. There's nothing wrong with being the first fight. I think Radke fits perfectly fine against Adam Fugit in this start off. In the start off of the UFC 331. And I do think this fight could go the distance, but I do think Radke would win and beat Fugit in round 3, early round 3 probably. But this fight will definitely go the distance for sure. But let's just move on to, I'm gonna try to go through the prelims fast, but then when it comes to the main card, I'm gonna really take my time and analyze why I chose these guys and who I have winning in what way. So, but let's just move on to the next fight, and that'll be prelims here. That being my boy, Damon Blackshear versus Ricky Simone. Now, it has been a minute since Blackshear fought. It's definitely, I feel like it's been over like a year. Definitely, but yeah, it's been almost around over a year. And Damon Blackshear is an elite grappler, bro. An elite grappler. First of all, he went all 3 rounds with Mario Batista, who is a top-ranked bantamweight. Like he had two pretty close rounds with Batista. He had strike Batista as well in that fight. A very good grappler, and I think he needs to come back, bro. In his last fight, he did fight Davy Grant in July of last year. He did lose. It was a close fight, but at the same time, he didn't really, strike that much in that fight. He was very focused on his grappling ability on the ground. Got out strikes, Grant landed more shots. He looked more dominant in that fight. Makes sense. Okay. But, Blackshear coming back on this card be perfect to me just because he's in fight so long. And Ricky Simone, I feel like is a guy who will be a nice matchup against Damon Blackshear. I feel like last fight he did have a draw of Adrian Yanez, but I do think Ricky Simone would not survive on the ground with a guy like Damon Blackshear. Damon Blackshear is an elite grappler. And I do think I would have Damon Blackshear winning this by like submission. But Ricky Simone is not like he's not like a nobody. He's not a guy who like will get beaten easily. This will be a tough fight. But I do think like obviously I feel like Ricky Simone is not the best grappler, but he does have good wrestling, like solid wrestling. And I do think this fight will go to the distance. But I just think like Damon Blackshear is such an underrated fighter, bro. Like he is such elite and strong level grappling, a very good grappling background as well. He can strike. I'll give him that. I feel like he could outstrike Ricky Simone on the feet. But overall, this fight's gonna go to the ground for sure. Damon Blackshear knows how to take people down and keep you down for sure. I mean, I don't really think like I feel like Blackshear could be on. Like, he could be higher up in the card, but like I would take. I would like love this fight to be on like an elite prelims for sure. Like it's perfectly fine if it's on the elite prelims, but although I would say with Ricky Simone, like he's a really like he has a lot of pressure to him in his fighting style and his like he has a high paced wrestling, a very good cardio, so he can last 3 rounds, 5 rounds if you ever need to fight in the main event. Like, probably that wouldn't happen, but I'm just saying he can last a while in the octagon for sure. But with the Damon Blackshear's like he can switch stance. He has a long length. He has longer length than Ricky Simone, I'm pretty sure. But I like it wouldn't matter about the pressure because I think Blackshear can't control the distance between Ricky Simone in this fight. So I would take Blackshear, man. Like this guy is a dangerous guy on the feet and on the ground. And dangerous on the feet. You know what? He's not bad on the feet. But I would take Blackshear to win this. I feel like this fight, the Damon Blackshear fight news should be coming out soon. Most likely he probably won't be fighting this card, but he should be fighting soon, bro. This guy is really nice, and I like him a lot. He's one of my favorite underrated fighters in the UFC, I would say. But anyway, let's move on to the next matchup we have here. That being, this is a confirmed fight, by the way. Confirmed fight we have here. That being Ryan Gondra versus Ozzy Diaz. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what the UFC has against Ozzy Diaz because this guy's being fed to he's being fed to dangerous guys, bro. He does have a win in the UFC against Jordan Santos. Okay, cool. But this guy has been, bro, he's been okay. Out of all 4 of his losses, he's been finished. He's been KO'd in all 4 of his losses, bro. Like this dude's chin is unimaginably like he's extremely chinny. And he in the last fight he did fight Atiba Gautier. Like, come on, bro. Like they fed him to Atiba, bro. Come on, man. And that dude has like almost always wins by finish in the UFC. And he fought Zhang Mingyang, another pretty good guy. Like that fight, like it was not fair, bro. It's just not fair. And Ryan Gontra's a guy who's coming off a win against Zach Reese on the UC 329, the McGregor Holloway card. It's a very, like this guy, if he lands one really nice solid jab from you, bro, on you, it's over, bro. This guy has extreme, like he has unlimited power to his punches, bro. Like in his fights, he hasn't really had he's only been in the UFC for like maybe like what like a year. And his fights have not gone the distance. And I think Ozzy Diaz will get finished in like round one by this dude. Like all of his fights in the UFC have literally been like like a round one finish, bro. And yeah, he did like his KO on Zachary Reese was quite literally like a minute and 15 seconds, bro. Quick. His last fight against Jose De Medina was 41 seconds. Like he finishes fights so quickly, bro, because he has this untapped power. And this obviously like he obviously can do more, but we just haven't seen that because he hasn't needed to do more because the guys he's fighting against are like just they're not trash. Like Zacharias isn't trash, but like they're just so easy to like just get rid of. Like there's like expendable guys in the UFC that they can match me against like top prospects who are coming in. And I will say Ryan Ganger is gonna if Ryan Ganger beats out the Diaz, that won't like I would say he could fight someone close to the rankings, but like this, to me, bro, if you're fighting Ozzy Diaz and your upcoming guy in the UFC, bro, this is a layup win, bro. I'm not layup fight, layup, bro. Ozzy Diaz is cool, sounds like a nice guy, but like he just is getting like, matchmade against like the worst guys. And this fight is a confirmed fight. I did say that earlier, but this is a confirmed fight in the card. Fight what happened? Ryan Guy's gonna finish Diaz quickly, bro. But let's move on to the next one. This was a pretty quick one, easy one to predict what's gonna happen because we know both these guys pretty well. But let's move on to the next fight we have here. That being, Iwo Barnowski versus Alonzo Menafield. Menafield is in the rankings, and I feel like Barnowski deserves a ranked opponent or a guy like on the brink of the rankings. He deserves a ranked guy because this has been on a 10 in the UFC. He literally has, I think, almost same with like Ryan Ganger. Almost all of his fights are like by a round one finish. This dude is crazy good. And in his last fight, he beat Junior Tafa literally by leg kicks, bro. Leg kicks. Because Junior Tafa could not take the leg kick power that this guy has. And this guy's really good. Barnes is really good. This guy, like, a veteran, a long time guy in the sport, Alonzo Menafield, too, to me, isn't really that good of a fighter. He's in the rankings, though. Won't lie, he's in the rankings. But he's not that good. And I feel like Barnowski could easily just finish off Alonzo Menafield. Barnowski, to me, one, is more powerful than Alonzo Menafield. I think I feel like he's quicker. Like he has the agility on him. We've seen it before, and but like the way he just corners guys in the octagon, bro, and just finishes them off like a jab to knock him down, and ground and pound. Like this guy is so good, and he's undefeated. He's not lost at all in his career, bro. This guy's limit for Ivo Barnowski, bro. Really. Like, quite literally, all of his fights have been by a round one finish. Yes, he has fought cans like Austin Lane, Junior Tafa. Okay, cool. It's still impressive to have all your fights end in round one, bro. Crazy impressive. And this guy like Alonzo Minifield, who is he's not obviously not the best because like we don't want to match make Igor Bernucci against a top guy in light heavyweight. We don't want to do that because to me that's unfair. He doesn't deserve that. And two, he probably get beat by a lot of the top guys in light heavyweight as well. So like that wouldn't make sense. We gotta have him start off slow and I got lower on the rankings. Like Alonzo Menifield was coming for one against Zhang Mingyang. And Alonzo Menifield is a pretty good he has a lot of finishes in his UFC career, bro. He finishes a lot of his wins, bro. He finished a lot of guys. Like he's not the worst guy in light heavyweight, but he's not the greatest, bro. To me, he's not really that good. Not really that good. And he has been finished a lot in his career as well. He's been finished a lot. Out of his 6 losses, he has 4 losses by KO, bro. This dude, his chin is not the greatest. And Barnowski can capitalize on that and finish him quickly. So I'm taking Barnowski. If this fight were to happen and being put in the car, I'm taking Barnowski easy by a round one finish, just like all of his last other fights. Let's move on to the next bout we have on here. That being, now I made this fight specifically because I've been hearing rumors about Bryce Mitchell fighting Alexander Topuria. I've been hearing rumors about it, and this could be on UFC 331. We don't know. We're not totally sure yet, but this definitely could be on this card for sure. And I do know Bryce Mitchell has a grappling match against Mikey Musumeci in September. But it's a it's BJJ, bro. You're not gonna take a crazy amount of damage, bro, at all really, unless you break a limb or break a bone or something like that. But Bryce Mitchell is experienced, he knows what he's doing. That's fine. He can easily fight. He can easily fight in this, but I feel like it depends on when this UFC 331 will happen. It depends on what happens because if it happens before the grappling match, Bryce Mitchell probably wouldn't do it just because you know you're fighting MMA, then you're going straight to BJJ like soon after. That's not very great for the body really. Bryce Mitchell, as we know, he's coming off a win against Santiago Luna, who's an up and coming guy in bantamweight. That's another guy's really good. Like he can grapple. He's really good at what he does. But Bryce Mitchell out grappled him. He showed him has really done, and he finished him off. Alexander Topuria has not fought in a minute. I'm not gonna lie. He's not fought in a minute, bro. It's been he last fought in like November, like December, somewhere around there. It was like on a fight night. And I know he fought Begzat Almakan, winning by decision. But this guy, he has promised him. Alexander Topuria, I think in this fight specifically, Alexander Topuria, if this fight were to go to the ground, I'm gonna say Bryce Mitchell, but I think Alexander Topuria could keep this fight on the ground. I mean on the ground, on the feet, for sure. But like he's a really good boxer, good pocket punching, he has good head movement. He does have some jiu-jitsu like in his background a little bit. Obviously the brother Ilya, but I feel like either way, like if you're the brother of Ilya Topuria, you should have good boxing because just like Ilya has good boxing, you should have good boxing as well, just like him, bro. Not to glaze a little bit, I'm just saying, but I'm just being honest. And he could pressure Bryce Mitchell in this fight and end up finishing him off. So this fight to me could go either way, but ultimately I would take Bryce Mitchell this fight, because Bryce Mitchell could definitely take down Topuria for sure. And grapple with him and then end up finding submission on him. Maybe in tentacle submission before finishing him off. But the only problem, like I said before, is like with the pressure from Alexander Zaporia, is that Alexander Zaporia has crazy pressure. He knows what he's doing. He knows where to keep, the guy at he's fighting, his opponent. He knows where to keep them at in order to get the right, angles on him. And he is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but I do not believe he could beat Bryce Mitchell in a grappling match, bro. Like if the fight goes to the ground, bro, he's not beating Mitchell. I'm sorry. Bryce Mitchell to me is one of like the best grapplers in bantamweight division, up there in the UFC for sure. Definitely up there in the UFC for sure. And I would take Bryce Mitchell, man. Like Alexander Zaporia is pretty good, but I'm taking Bryce Mitchell. And I believe Bryce Mitchell has the reach advantage. I just want to make sure real quick, because I know Zaporia reach isn't that big. But yeah, he does reach advantage in this fight too. So I feel like he could keep distance in this fight because Topuria is a really good boxer. But I would take Bryce Mitchell. This fight could go to decision too, so he could win by decision. But when it comes to feet on the feet, this fight goes to Topuria. On the ground, Bryce Mitchell can take Topuria down. It goes to Bryce Mitchell. So either way, but I'll take Bryce Mitchell for sure. Next up, we have another confirmed fight on this card. We have Chito Vera versus Charles Jourdain. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Chito Vera, your time has come, bro. It's over for you, bro. They're just feeding this guy to like really good fighters in bantamweight, bro. And Chito Vera's on like a 4-fight losing streak, bro. He's on a bad losing streak. Like I remember those times when he was the champion, that he was the bantamweight champion. He fight Sean O'Malley. He was fighting guys, bro. Like he was doing so well. Like he was winning fights. He was doing his thing. And then he ended up, obviously, once he lost to O'Malley, it was over for him. Let's just be honest. Once he lost to O'Malley, it was over for him. I mean, like it was like it's really hard to explain with this guy, but like Marlon Vera, Chito Vera, he is on a big decline in his career. I mean, oh my God. I mean, he's never going to ever go back to the level he actually was. I mean, actually, sorry. I said he was a champion before. He was never a champion, but he was definitely like he was close to one. But he's never going to go back to the level he was before in his career, bro. This dude was really good at one point bantamweight, but he just is not as good as he used to be. And Charles Jourdain is a very good striker, high-paced striker at that. And he's kind of unpredictable in his fights a little bit too, and like he's just gonna batter Chito Vera, bro. Like Like they're feeding him, like they fed him to Ayman Zahabi. No offense, Ayman Zahabi's not that good, but like still, he's up and coming. Like he's not like not up and coming in the UFC, but like he's not a nobody. They feed him to guys like Ayman Zahabi. He lost to Figgy, like an old Figgy, bro. Like it's bad. He recently fought David Martinez, who's up and coming in the UFC, who's another really good fighter. And like they're just feeding him to these guys, bro. Like and like I feel like the UFC knows this guy's career is over, but there's I feel like like I'm taking Charles Jordan, like I said, because of his striking ability and how unpredictable he is in his fights. But like I feel like after this fight, after because I feel like we all know Vero's gonna lose this fight. But after this fight, he should retire, bro. Kind of put on the gloves, bro. You get a nice long run in the UFC. Like he fought a while in the UFC, a long time. Like he's fought for over 10 years in the UFC. So I think his time has come to stop. He's beating some top guys. He's had some losses, some bad losses. It's fine. He can easily retire and then come back and then just stop, bro. Like I feel like he's gone overboard with it. You don't need to do this to yourself, man. To keep on accepting these fights and fight on these really good guys. But anyway, let's get to Charles Jordan here. Charles Jordan is on a 3-fight win streak. I thought Jordan was gonna be on the Canada card, the Edmonton card. I actually thought he was, seeing that he is Canadian. But he fought in April. But I just thought he was gonna be on like another Canada card, maybe Edmonton, because the last card he was on the last Canada card with Mike Malott main eventing against Gilbert Burns. But like I'm not gonna lie, bro, I would take Charles Jordan here. He's on a 3-fight win streak for sure. He's a really good grappler, good on the feet, bro. Like this, he's a dangerous fighter against a guy like Chito Vera. This will be a layup for him, easy win. So I'm taking Charles Jordan for sure, bro. Next matchup we have is Doohoo Choi versus Patricio Pitbull. Now this is another confirmed fight on this card. This fight has already been confirmed. I did have this fight on here already because I was hearing rumors about it and like about Doohoo Choi fight news and Patricio Pitbull, and like eventually I was hearing like these guys could fight, and then it got confirmed like the next day. Like, I was like, okay, cool, you can leave it on here. But sorry, I had this fight on here. I was thinking about Doohoo Choi. I mean, he is coming off like he fought recently and he did finish Daniel Santos. Obviously, before that, he was on like a 2-year layoff. I think it was. Oh man, I forgot what he was missing for. But I know the last time he went on hiatus for a minute was he was like doing some like military training or something like that. So that's the reason why. But like this dude is really really good, really good. Bro, he's like his finishes, bro. This dude Choi is a crazy. He's a very like, fun fighter always, bro. And he's versing Patricio Pitbull, who lost to Aaron Pico in his last fight. I mean, Patricio Pitbull is another good grappler. He's a good grappler, but against Doohoo Choi, I feel like Doohoo Choi is gonna take this fight. This fight is gonna go to decision, in my opinion. I believe like Patricio Pitbull is a really good fighter, but I just don't think he's gonna keep up with the striking of Doohoo Choi. That being, Doohoo Choi is like he just like he's still we just saw he still has the KO power he has because he just KO'd his last opponent. Pitbull is he's another really good fighter, but I just don't think that he's gonna keep up with Doohoo Choi in this fight, bro. Like Patricio Pitbull, he's more of a counter striker instead of like a regular guy who just strikes with you. Like he's a counter striker, but he does have a high fight IQ in my opinion. He's like a really good IQ in the fight in MMA. I would say though, like obviously, like he could really like he's a black belt and everything. We know that. It's a really good grappler, but I think Doohoo Choi like is gonna just land more strikes in this fight, really overpower him on the striking exchange they have in this fight. But overall, Patricio Pitbull, if this fight goes to the ground, Pitbull has a really high chance of submitting Doohoo Choi for sure. He is known for his guillotine choke, so that could happen. That could happen. You never know. Anything can happen in a fight. But if this fight goes to the ground, that definitely could happen. He could, lock in a guillotine choke and Doohoo Choi. But to me, Dude just don't let that happen. He's gonna stop the takedowns, end up landing more shots in the fight, and taking the win by decision, unanimous decision, for sure. So I'm gonna take Dude Choi in this. But this is really good matchmaking. I like this fight a lot. I want to see Choi back in the rankings, bro. I do want to see back. Like to me, he's a guy who's gonna hover around the rankings and be in the rankings all the time, but never a top guy in his respective division. But still a very good fighter though. So let's just move on to the next fight. That being another confirmed fight, being Eduardo Mora versus Casey O'Neill. This fight was just made, just like I believe it was made the same day that Pitbull and Dude Choi was made. And this fight, I'm not really like, I know both these people, but like, come on, man. Like, okay, obviously there need to be at least one women's MMA fight on here. I guess I'll take Eduardo Mora. Eduardo Mora. I mean, I'm not really too sure about this fight. I'll be honest. I do know Casey O'Neal's coming off a win for sure because on the Adesanya Piper card she KO'd I forgot her name, but she did win by KO in the last fight for sure. And then I do know Eduardo Mora is a good grappler for sure, good grappler. But like, I mean, it's kind of hard to really like say. I mean, I would take Casey O'Neill by the striking, but if Mora can take O'Neill down, this fight is over. She's a really good submission specialist, bro. She knows what she's doing for sure. So you know what? I'll just take Eduardo Mora by like submission, like around 2 maybe. Take Casey O'Neill down. Look for a submission attempt on her. If she can't get it, just get control over her. Ground and pound her if she needs to. But I'll take Mora here. This is a pretty quick one. I don't know really too sure because I've watched Casey O'Neill fight and Mora fight, but like I haven't really paid like there's not a lot of really good women's MMA fighters in flyweight. And like I mean, and in general, like the women's MMA right now has been like in shambles, bro. Not totally shambles, but like it hasn't been as good as it like was before. But let's just go on to the next bout we have on this card here. That being we're on to the main event. We're on to the main event here. The not main event, the main card. We have Aljamain Sterling, the Funk Master, versus Gene Silva. Now at one point I did have Kevin Valajos fighting Aljo, but I thought, you know what, he could be on like another card and fight someone else. I do like Kevin Valajos. He's a really good fighter. This dude should be ranked higher than he is. But I would most likely take Gene Silva because Aljamain Sterling has come off the win against Yusuf Zalal. He showed out. I mean, he did what he was doing. He looked really good in that fight as well. And he's versing Gene Silva, who is he's coming for one against Arnold Allen. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Arnold Allen. I don't know why I thought his last fight was Diego Lopez. I don't know why I thought that, but I know it's Arnold Allen because I watched the fight as well. And that was on the Gaethje Pimblett card in January. And I do want to see like this fight would be really. This is a good start to a main card of a UFC numbered event for sure, bro. Really good way to start off, bro, for sure. And I'm not gonna lie, I probably would take Gene Silva in this just because this dude, he like Aljamain Sterling is obviously he's not shy from pressure, bro. But I think Gene Silva is just gonna pressure him so much to where he just ends up finishing off Sterling. Like Sterling is obviously a really good wrestler. He can strike back as well. For sure, like he can grapple, but this fight's gonna be on the feet for sure. It's gonna be a high paced, lot of power, explosive power between the two of these guys going back and forth. I do think Sterling could take down Gene Silva and try to get some control time over him just to try to like, because if he's getting beat on the feet, getting out straight on the feet, then Aljamain's gonna take this fight for sure to the ground, bro, for sure, and then end up trying to get a finish off the ground against Gene Silva. But Gene Silva is still like he's still one of my favorite fighters in the UFC in terms of like the featherweight division. Not like in the UFC, but I'll say in the featherweight division for sure he's one of my favorite fighters. This dude, he's really good at distance control as well. I know Aljo has a pretty good reach for the featherweight division, but I do think in this fight Gene Silva can keep his distance if he's not too sure like about how to approach Aljo. And he's also a good counter striker as well. Good footwork. But I'll probably take Gene Silva by this is kind of tough. I'll probably take him by like decision. I feel like he could have a pretty good dominant win over Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling has the wrestling to him. He could take him down, maybe win a round over Gene Silva. But Gene Silva ultimately is going to take like he's going to take most of this fight for sure, for sure. But this would be an exciting fight to start off in the main card. So that's all I gotta say. But I will take Gene Silva in this fight by maybe decision. Let's move on to the next fight in the main card here. We have another confirmed fight. I believe this is the last confirmed fight I have on here. I'm pretty sure it is, yeah. It's gonna be Brian Ortega versus Renato Moicano. Now this fight is a rebooked fight. This fight was supposed to happen like some time ago. I forgot when, but Ortega was supposed to fight Renato Moicano. He was supposed to fight him. I don't know if it's gonna be like a fight night or a numbered them. I forgot, but I know they're supposed to fight each other. But this fight to me is not one-sided. Ortega has not looked himself though. Ortega has been like really. He is not. He just has not been that good. He was on. I knew like last fight was against Aljo, and he was like it was like the co-main event of the China card with Zhang Minying, against Johnny Walker. And Aljo dominated Brian Ortega in this fight. He dominated him. He controlled him on the ground. He landed more strikes. Brian Ortega got 45-50 every round in that fight, bro. That was not a fair fight for Ortega. I mean, it was a fair fight, but he wasn't good. And he has 4 losses in his last 5 fights, bro. Like, he lost to Volk, obviously. He lost to Ayer. Then he beat Ayer. Lost to Lopez and lost to Aljo, bro. Like, we love Brian Ortega over here, bro, but to me, Renato Moicano could easily finish this fight in, like, round 1. But we don't know if Ortega's going to come back stronger. I feel like he can come back stronger for sure. But we're not totally sure if he's going to come back strong enough to beat Renato Moicano. Is an elite level grappling lightweight division, bro. Because he's also, I forget where he's at in the rankings, but he's definitely up in there in the rankings. And he's coming from one against Chris Duncan. I mean, that fight, I mean, I'm not going to lie. They kind of fed Chris Duncan right out of Moicano, bro. Chris Duncan shouldn't have, to me, he should not have fought Moicano, bro. Moicano, really good grappler. Obviously, Moicano, and, like, he's had some really good wins and some tough losses, bro. Like, he lost to Islam, but, like, that's fair, bro. He lost to Benio Dariush, but that's fair, bro. Like, those are fair losses to have on your resume, bro. But those like his most recent like losses that that I can remember. He beat BSD, crazy, and then he beat like Jaden Turner. Like, he beat a bunch of guys who are like lightweights who are like pretty top. And guys, rest of the rankings are ranked guys. But I do think McConnell can take this fight. I don't want to say round because I don't want to say round 1 because I think Ortega can really improve himself and come back into this fight and be ready for sure to fight Moicano. So I would say I would take Moicano by like round 2 submission. Ortega's not bad on the ground, but I'm just gonna say like he wants to keep this fight on the feet. Moicano to me is the better grappler. He's the better fighter currently. Ortega just has not looked great in the past couple of years. Has not looked great. Like after he lost to Max Holloway, I feel like after he lost to Volk, I feel like after that it just went downhill, bro. Like he just couldn't get it together. But I'm gonna take Moicano. Let's be a round 2 submission, man. This is a good fight though. I like this fight. It makes sense why they put this fight in here as a rebook fight. Fair. I like it. But I'm gonna take Moicano round 2 submission. This will be not the easiest fight for Moicano like Chris Duncan, but like a pretty uh not tough, but like he's gonna have a little bit of trouble in the beginning and then end up adjusting to it and getting the win. So I'll take Moicano. Next up for the Kona event, I've been hearing so many rumors about Oliveira versus Arman Sarukian for the BMF belt. Brother, just announced this. I mean, either they're probably gonna announce it later today when this video comes out, or they're gonna announce it tomorrow. But we already know what's gonna. We know, bro. We know Oliveira is gonna fight soon. We know Arman's gonna fight soon. And I've been, to me, Arman's most overrated lightweight in the division, bro. Overrated, bro. This guy sits on his ass doing nothing, just doing rat fights all the time, bro. It's not like that's not like he's still focused on like a different sport instead of the sport he's trained for his whole life, which is MMA. He's been wrestling. He wrestled And the crazy thing is, like, in the last, like obviously he was undefeated in RAF until he fought Colby Covington, and Colby is like a retired old Colby Covington schooled Armin Sarukian in the wrestling game, bro. And I do think Oliveira, obviously these guys fought before. Armin won. Okay, cool. It's fine. Charles Oliveira is going to come back and show, he's going to show Armin Sarukian who he is, but he's going to show him who he is. But the last fought, but he won by split decision. Okay, I mean, cool. But we do know Charles Oliveira is going to come back and take this win, bro. I believe, okay, Oliver got control in that fight. I think Arnold Sarukian, he's been kind of brushing off the MMA, bro. He's not at his top level like he was before in the past. He beat like Dan Hooker when he beat Oliveira. Obviously, like he's not at his top level where he's supposed to be at, bro. He's not. He's not. And when he fights Oliveira again, Oliveira's gonna pick this fight, bro. And Oliveira's gonna win by submission, in my opinion. This fight will go on for a while. Co-main event fight here. This fight's gonna go on to like round 3, but I think Oliveira's gonna end up submitting Armin. He definitely could catch him off guard on the feet, knock him down, and go for submission. But at the end of the day, Armin could survive, and Oliveira could still win by decision and take every round. Like, I just don't see Armin winning this fight anymore. Like, people are still like, I haven't seen people online take Oliveira as because I feel like Armin's not at the top level he used to be, bro. Obviously, he's still a top ranked lightweight. He still trains on that, obviously, blah blah blah. We know Armin. We know Armin's still a really good fighter. But Charles Oliveira is just, he's gonna come into this fight and just win. He's gonna dominate, just like how Armin Sarukian dominated him on the ground. He's gonna dominate this whole entire fight. And remember, Armin won by split decision. He won by split decision, bro. It was a close fight, 1-1. Before Armin took 2-1. So it was a close fight. Oliveira dominated Max Holloway. He beat Gamera. Like, he is one of the best lightweights. He's the BMF GOAT. Max Holloway and then Oliveira. Probably. I would say that. But like they're kind of equal. But I'll probably say Oliveira as BMF GOAT. But like still. BMF GOAT, gonna take this win. He's gonna win this fight. Not the easiest way, but he's gonna find ways to put and find holes in Armin's game and win this fight for sure. I'm telling you, Charles Oliveira is gonna win. Sarukian versus Oliveira too. He's gonna take the second fight, and I will want to see a third fight between these two for sure in the future. Obviously, if this fight should happen, I do want to see a third fight from this guy to complete the trilogy. But anyway, let's move on to the main event of this card, which I have been Joshua Van versus Alexandra Pantoja 2, the second fight. Obviously, Pantoja lost against Joshua Van. He lost the flyweight title, because he broke his arm basically in the fight. He lost by injury. And like, okay, people are calling Joshua Van a fluke champion, doesn't deserve it. But then Van goes on and defends his belt against Tatsuro Taira in a very dominant win on the ground. Taira tried. Like, the problem with Tatsuro Taira is that he's not a very good striker. Like, Taira tried to take him down. He tried to maybe get a submission on Joshua Van, but it just didn't work. Joshua Van's a really good striker. I do think Joshua Van has a very high chance of beating Pantoja. He definitely can beat Pantoja, bro. Like, to me, Pantoja, like, I'm not trying to hate Pantoja, but like, Pantoja went like, life and death with Steve Ercik, bro. And Van beat Steve Ercik badly, bro. But let's not go off a fight that happened like a couple years ago. Let's go off current events now. Pantoja's ready for this fight. He's been ready for this fight. For sure. Like, Pantoja's like the #1 contender in the flyweight division to fight Joshua Van. Like, he is the #1 guy who needs this title shot again. And after this, we're gonna see who is gonna win this, bro. Because before that, he was defending the belt. He would beat Baron Moreno and Pete Val. He beat Asakura. He beat Kakara France. Like, he was showing off his dominance in the flyweight division until he lost to Van. But he lost. That is kind of a fluky win there. Kind of a fluky win, I will say, definitely. But like, I'm not gonna lie. I would take Pantoja to win this fight, by decision. This will be a really close fight. Joshua Van has the, he has the punches on the ground, but Pantoja does too. They both can go. These two are gonna go to a war on the feet for sure. They're gonna go to war for sure. And this fight goes to the ground. Still, this fight is really good, but I would take Pantoja on the ground game over Van. Way better grappler for sure. Submission specialist, Pantoja is. I would take him on the ground. But Van is good at stuffing takedowns. He's good at stopping, people from taking his back. He's good from stopping people, getting the double leg on him, all that. He knows what to do. It's a top guy like Pantoja. So yeah, I would take Pantoja by decision. I mean, this is a really good main event. I would say overall, this card in general to me would be one of the best cards. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of finishes on this card specifically. The best cards I can think of so far in the year, like obviously 329 was a good card. Except for the main event, good card. Like it could be on a level of like Conrad return. Like this fight, people want to see this rematch really badly, and it makes sense why. But those are kind of got fluked, right? Van defended his title. Okay, cool. Tassar Tyler deserves a title shot, but he deserved that. He deserved a title shot because he was making it up the rankings. He was up there. He needed that, and he's still up in the rankings. But he won't be fighting for the belt in his next fight. He's lost. But Pantoja deserves this wholeheartedly, 100% for sure deserves this title shot against Joshua Van. I think he wins this rematch. And you know what? This should be a trilogy. There should be a trilogy for this. Just like I said for Oliveira and Sarukian. There should be a trilogy for this fight. Because like this fight is like, bro, flyweight is at its best as it can be, bro. And you want to see, like, you just want to see like top guys go at it all the time, bro. Like flyweight is at the peak right now. The peak of the peak right now. And these two guys are at the top at flyweight currently. And Pantoja is arguably one of like the flyweight goats, bro. This guy's so good. And Van's getting up there too, bro. After he just won and dominated Tassar Tyro. But anyways, overall this card's really good to me. I feel like I made a lot of good fights in here. And I hope to see, this whole card getting announced because we have a lot of time before it comes out. But I just want to see because like I've been hearing some rumors about, Oliveira, Sarukian, Movsar, Volk, and then even this fight, Van and Pantoja. I've been hearing some rumors about it, and a lot of fights have been getting announced for 31, so I just want to get this video out now. It's because I don't want to, make a card builder, like, make a whole card builder video, and then, there's, like, a bunch of fights already been announced, and, like, it's too late, so I just gotta, like, scrap it. So I just want to get this out now. And I just want to say, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more MMA content. We have a lot of, like I said, a lot of big things coming out on this channel, bro. A lot of big things. A lot of big videos I've been making. I've been putting time into. And I'm excited. So anyways, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe for more. If you have recommendations for me, I'll gladly take them on. And I'll gladly, make the video if you have recommendations. It doesn't matter. And anyways, peace.